Hi everybody, my name's Doug, and I am doing this video as a follow-up to my TURP procedure that I had on May 26th, 2021. After the procedure, I was urinating just like I was 25 years old again. And after about 5 or 6 months, I noticed that I started having problems again, urinating, very similar to the symptoms of BPH. Very weak stream when I would urinate, starting and stopping again, getting up multiple times at night to go to the bathroom, always feeling like my bladder was not totally empty. And I got a hold of my urologist who did the TURP procedure on me, and I was very fortunate to be able to get in the very next day. And I explained to him, what was going on. Like I said, the symptoms that I just explained. And during the office visit, he pretty much told me right off the bat that I probably am suffering from something called bladder neck contracture. And he told me that maybe 5 to 10% of men who have TURP procedures or have a catheter run the risk of developing bladder neck contracture. And what bladder neck contracture is there's scar tissue that builds up around the bladder neck at the bottom of the bladder, and the scar tissue continues to grow, and it actually can close off the bladder neck so you cannot urinate. So when I was in his office, he said, "Doug, let's go ahead, let's scope me again," which is always entertaining. So he put the TV scope up inside of me, and he said, "Yeah," like I said, he knew what it was before we even started. And sure enough, I had bladder neck contracture. And he told me that the opening in my bladder neck from the scar tissue was actually smaller than before I had the TURP surgery. So I was urinating even less under more stress because of the bladder neck contracture. And I have a little diagram here that I got off the internet. I've added a few things to it, but I just wanted to show you kind of what I'm talking about. This is the bladder here. Obviously, these are the tubes that come in from the kidneys. Here's the bladder neck. Again, you can see it's really a small opening to allow urine to come out. So this is the bladder neck. This is the internal sphincter. We have 2 sphincter muscles. This is the main one that holds the urine in the bladder. Here's another sphincter muscle that is used, also to hold urine inside the body, as well as this is the prostate gland right here. And if you're having prostate issues, having a TURP surgery done, you know what that's all about. But this is the prostate. So again, this sphincter muscle also holds in prostatic fluid, semen, things like that. And of course down here we have Mr. Happy. We all know what that's about. So like I said, the scar tissue from having the instruments inserted into the prostate area, as well as catheters up inside of the bladder, that caused scar tissue to build up just right here at this opening. And as I said, my opening was smaller because of the bladder neck contracture than prior to me having the TURP surgery. And the doctor was very concerned about that. So I had my first bladder neck contracture surgery on December 8th of 2021. So like I said, it was about 6 months after I had my TURP surgery. Everything was going great. I was on a catheter again for maybe 2 or 3 days, had a little bit of blood, things like that. The surgery basically consists of, they go back up through the penis, up through the prostate, go to the bladder neck, and they have just a little cauterizing probe, and they just cut just a few little cuts into that scar tissue to open the scar tissue back up so you can urinate again. So I had that done, and everything was going great. And about 2 months later, after that first bladder neck contracture surgery, same thing. I noticed that my urine stream was getting weaker and weaker, And I went in again, talked to the doctor, and he said, well, you know, unfortunately some men have a lot of scar tissue. Their scar tissue reaction to injuries may be a little bit more aggressive than a normal person. You know, like I said, only about 5 to 10% of the guys get this bladder neck contracture. And unfortunately, I'm one of them. So I had that first surgery done. And then, like I said, about 2 months later, I was getting the same symptoms again. Called him back up to my doctor, went back in, and this time he said, look, I'm not even going to scope you. He said, I know what's going on. He had talked to some other doctors, and these other doctors, urologists, said the same thing. Yeah, there are some people that just have overly aggressive scar tissue building up, and you know, may have to do this multiple times. Or he said, I may be on a daily catheter, self-catheterization every day. So what he did this time is he went back up through the penis like he did last time. This was general surgery, general anesthesia. So I was out. I was at a surgery center, not a hospital. Went back in. This time with that cauterizing instrument, he made 3 or 4 cuts all around, opened all that up. And he also injected steroids. He did a little research on how to stop this, and a doctor told him inject a lot of steroids all around that scar tissue, and hopefully that will stop it. So I had that second bladder neck contracture surgery on March 11th of 2022. I am on a self-catheterization schedule. So for the first 2 weeks, I have to catheterize myself once a night before I go to bed. I should say that when I came home, again, I had a catheter for about 3 days, and then I started this self-catheterization. So the schedule that I am on is for the first 2 weeks, I had to self-catheterize myself once a night before I went to bed. After the 2 weeks, then it's every other night that I have to do that. And then after like another 2 or 3 weeks, then it's every third night that I have to catheterize myself. And the goal is to allow that scar tissue to heal in an open state with all the steroids that he injected. Plus, with the self-catheterization, the hope is that it'll keep the scar tissue from closing down on the bladder neck. So, you know, hopefully I don't have to go through this again. As I said, when I came home, both times I was on a bag catheter for 2 or 3 days, took those out myself here at home, and same routine, same orders, you know, just make sure you drink a lot of fluids, things like that, keep your bladder and everything flowing naturally. No sex for a week, and you know, my wife was giddy with excitement when she heard that. So, as I said, I'm on the every other night schedule right now, getting ready to go to the every third night schedule. There is some blood that still occasionally comes out, and I don't know if I'm doing any damage to the scar tissue. Hopefully no damage to the sphincter muscles. I've had no issues with bladder control. I still have total bladder control, which is a blessing. But again, just self-catheterization, just trying to keep that opening open. During the day, evening, when I urinate, everything's fine. It's coming out full force again like I was 25 years old. So that is hopefully a sign of things to come, that you know, as I wean myself off of the catheters, that hopefully I won't have to do this. But even, you know, my mindset was, hey, if I have to do this once a day just to keep that opening, and then the rest of the day I can urinate with no problem, I'm good with that, you know, because I don't want to have to get up 3 and 4 times a night or have the weak stream again like we're all going through. So I just wanted to let you know that there is a possibility of a side effect called bladder neck contracture. Again, scar tissue at the very bottom, the very base of the bladder. So if you're having those issues, please call your urologist, make an appointment, get in as soon as you can, and hopefully they can fix that. There's really not a lot more the doctor said could be done if I keep doing this with the scar tissue, other than go back in, have another procedure done, inject more steroids. So again, I'm hoping the catheterization, self-catheterization, hopefully will help that, as well as the steroids. Hopefully that'll stop the scar tissue from growing. So if you don't mind, I would appreciate it if maybe you'd give this video a thumbs up, because that helps get this video in, on the sidebars. It brings it up front. I don't know all the terms. I'm not a YouTube kind of uploader guy. I also had a couple of videos that I shot in 2021 about my experience with the TURP procedure, and I'm going to do a couple of links to two of those videos. And if you don't mind, if you could go back, and if you have watched those, please give those a thumbs up again. The more thumbs up we get on these videos, the more opportunity more men have to see the videos of my procedure, not the procedure itself, but my recovery, a couple of issues that I had during my recovery, a couple of tips that I give before you have TURP surgery. So thumbs up are always appreciated. And again, I hope you don't have this bladder neck contracture, but if you start experiencing symptoms around 4 to 6 months is the average. If you start getting those symptoms, by all means, call your doctor, get back in, and let's keep our fingers crossed that they can stop it. Hopefully they've stopped mine. So again, give it a thumbs up. I wish everyone the best. If you have a TURP surgery, or if you come down with bladder neck contracture, I wish you the best. And take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon, because I'm going to be doing another couple of videos relative to the bladder neck, and then another video that I'm not going to talk about right now, but just look for my videos. So thanks for your time. God bless you, and good luck.